in Sweden.
Konnichiwa! Hello everyone and welcome to the season finale of Talk the Keki. Summer is over, thank fuck. Fall's in the air. I am Matt, and Eve is not here again, so to join me, the man who is head ninja in charge, aka Starman. You know him very well, know him well. You all love him. Starman, what's going on, buddy?
Yo, what's up, man? It's a pleasure to be here again. It's been a few
Yeah,
months, but I'm happy to be here. I'm excited about today's show. Man, how you doing, Matt? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm happy. The summer is over. My favorite season is airing with fall. I can't wait. Ethan is sick somewhere. I don't know where he is. He's at a show. But
You'll be all right. I mean, I really, to be completely honest, like I was like thinking about, I was like, yo, I would love to have Ethan here because to rip apart like a bunch of my list, a bunch of my picks. I know he's gonna have something to say, but this is for me. This is for the fans. These are recommendations for anybody and everybody. We're gonna have a good time tonight, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, so this will be our first time just doing this together, just two parts, as you and me.
All right, I'm with it. I'm down, man. Hey.
Yo, Chris, what's going on? Thank you for being here.
What's up, man? Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, he will be with us next week with his Summer Awards with Ethan.
Awesome.
But yeah, no, and then when we do the annuals, it's gonna be all four of us. So this will be a good little test for Chris. That's why he's doing it with us next week. But again, guys, you know the deal with the finales. It's a two-parter. Part one, we're going to be talking about the shows we've had. We're going to be condensing it a bit because it's a little formula. We're tweaking up. So, but yeah. So yeah, Starman, how are you? And how was the season for you?
Man, okay. So summer was cool. Like there were a lot of shows that I want. Like there were a lot of shows that I wanted to watch in previous seasons. This particular season, I decided to say, hey, I don't want it to feel like work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to watch dubs. So I dedicate the entire summer to dubs. Like last summer, call it a night. I watched everything like subtitle. But I was like, you know what? I want to watch dubs. So I dedicate the entire summer. I was 2-3 weeks behind for most shows. And I watched absolutely dubs. And got hit with a few spoilers as a consequence. But for the most part, I enjoyed everything. I didn't take on 15 to 20 shows. This summer, I took on maybe 13 shows. So, like, the top 10 was like, look, bro, I only took on barely 10 shows. I like 15 plus, but I dropped shows. 3 episodes didn't catch me. You and Ethan both gave me recommendations. So I decided to take the recommendations, go from there and just say, you know what? These are recommendations. I'm gonna take these seriously, and I'm gonna see if I like any of the recommendations you guys had. And a few of them were like, hey, but then there were a couple where I'm like, nah, this is not the move. I'm not doing this.
Right. But again, we're gonna get this part one is dedicated to those we have watched, while part two, he'll be giving out cakes. And I will be giving up the runner-up cakes, as he will also talk about his watch list for fall. Fall looks incredibly stacked. Like there were like 30 plus for sequels and new so that's like about 60 titles. But my goodness,
a lot of shows.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. So what did you watch that we didn't? And how did you feel about them?
Oh man, I feel like I might be spoiling my list a little bit if I give you guys too much sauce on what I was watching. Like,
but that's okay. Make it brief. You can make it brief. You can give us a score.
Okay. So I kept telling you guys, hey, you need to watch the old coup. I don't know who watched the old coup, but I really enjoyed it. Masamune's Revenge came out in like 2018, and 4 years later we finally got season 2. I was very excited for that. I stuck with Hulk. I think you did too. I also somewhere in the middle,
For which one?
Hulk.
I did not watch it.
I picked up Hulk, man. Hulk, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna check it out. It's something about High Dive, and they'll have a sleeper series, so I picked that up. I picked up Sugar Apple Fairy Tale. I picked up Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence. What else did I pick up besides those? I stuck to my guns, and I circled back to Spy Classroom just because I couldn't give up on it. I was like, you know what? I watched season 1. Let me finish season 2.
Yeah, I will come back because I heard things as well.
So that is everything. You know what really got me about that show is it was one week in particular when it topped the entire list, and I was like, what episode made this show top the entire list? I have to jump back in, and I jumped back in. When I finally got to that episode, I was like, okay, this is a completely different season. This is a completely different feel. They're going hard for season 2. So those are all the shows
What's up, Ethan?
Picked up for season, fit up for the summer season. Those are the few shows that I decided to take on my own. But other than that, I think we shared most of the other shows. Ethan suggested me Spell Blaze. I picked up Spell Blaze.
I picked it up as well.
I picked it up. So hey, man, if you guys suggest something, hey,
So what did you think of Spell Blades?
To be completely honest with you, Spell Blaze could not make it's this revenge plot, right? When you get to episode 6, they introduce the revenge plot, which I'm like, oh, y'all want to get revenge plot? I love Code Geass. I love a good revenge plot. Let's go.
And they stopped.
And they just never got back to it.
I know. I was like, you kidding me? All right.
Revenge plot. Like, dude wants to get revenge on his mother's murderer. So I'm like, dude, let's fucking go. I've seen Code Geass, nigga. Let's go. But he never got back to the revenge plot. It's what lost me with that show was they turned Pete to a trap, which I found was hilarious. Like that whole thing was hilarious. The ninja girl, the samurai girl whose hair turns white, who's OP, nobody can fucking touch her. Like, I just honestly, and everybody stepped up talking this big shit, but everybody gets washed when they step up to these guys. And then, I don't know. It's one of those shows where I'm just like, thanks for the memories, even though they weren't so great.
Yeah, no. No, I'm talking about it. There is some interesting stuff in there, but I wouldn't call it the Harry Potter. Like,
I would not.
No, I got more Mashal, but I get why he would feel that way.
I see he read all the books. And see, the thing with me is Mashal, they had different houses they were in. When I think of Harry Potter, I think Slytherin, I think Gryffindor, I think Hufflepuff, I think Ravenclaw. So when I watch this,
and then that one is Cream Puff.
They're going to be separated in different houses. They're not separated in different houses. They're just
they had points with the coin with the gold coins, like to become the Divine Visionary.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, I'm good. It's a labyrinth, but last time I saw an anime with a labyrinth, buddy got laid, and that was way in this labyrinth. So I'll leave it at that.
Oh man, but very good. I'll talk about my stuff real quick. The girl liked forgot her glasses. It's what I will say this. It's simple, it's cute, but I think Komura is very dense. I get he's nice to try to help her out, but with how much Mie forgets her glasses, I'm just like, just carry a pair with you. Like get a case, get a pair of glasses, take them to school. She forgets them, put it on her, walk her home. Before she walks to the door, grab the glasses back, put in the case, and go home. So she doesn't have to keep forgetting it. And that trope just got annoyed. And again, it's in the title, but at the same time, it's not original. Like there's nothing new with it. It's on purpose at this point.
It feels endearingly sweet though, because I kept
it definitely is. It definitely is
so sweet. I watched 3 episodes of it and was like, you know what? I'm good. It's just I was like, y'all gonna repeat this every day. She gonna forget some shit. She gonna charm this man. It didn't hit me the same way, Days of My Heart did. So I was like, And honestly, bro, when he's walking up those stairs, I was like, look, y'all guys in this animation, it's y'all too ahead of the curve for me. I'm good, man. Y'all.
Yeah, that's Gohan Studios. They thankfully they didn't do it much for the Masterful Cats, so I was very happy with that. But for Girl Glasses, I gave it a 3.25 out of 5. Again, nice stuff, but the trope just got way too annoying for my taste.
Well, before we get into the list, before we get into the awards, what I would like to do, I would like to start the show off giving a pure acknowledgement to the anime that are still ongoing that could not make my list. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we were watching the same one, so let's.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I just want to let all the viewers and everyone know, had the Cur finished, had it been 12 episodes and they would have picked it up later, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Dark Gathering would have topped my list. Dark Gathering was my most anticipated anime of the entire summer.
Oh,
there
for
was
sure.
A Sunday that went by that I wasn't anticipating, waiting, excited for the lights to go off, for it to get dark, turn all the lights off in my house so I could put an episode on and get creeped the fuck out. But I do respect, not only respect, I admire the fact that I'm going to get to enjoy this during October. During the actual spooky season, I'll get this show.
Oh God, I hope we get like the scariest episode for Halloween.
I really do. But honestly, every episode has been better than the last for the most part. So Dark Gathering, shout out to Dark Gathering. That's High Dive. That's another hit. After Oshinoko, people like, yo, are they gonna get another hit? Yes, Dark Gathering is the anime you should be watching. You have to watch.
Dark Gathering is definitely a sleeper. I love the atmosphere of it. The ghosts are actually legit scary when you look at them. Especially the fucking Kami. When you see the Kami, like, oh my gosh.
I wanted, like, this is everything I wanted the Jinjo, the Ito series to be. It's on steroids. They mastered it. They figured it out.
Yeah, the Ito stuff does not adapt well to anime. That's the sad part. Drawing wise is beautiful, but just animated, it just doesn't click.
Adult Swim is giving us a black and white Junjei
Uzumaki. Ito. Yes, I can't wait for Uzumaki. It's one of my favorite mangas.
Black and white series, but I will say, my favorite series of the summer, honestly, was like non-ongoing, non-sequel. I'm just waiting for the winter to get here, so this should be over, so I can. It's gonna be stacked against this current fall season, but I think. I have no doubt that Dark Gathering is going to land in top 5. It may even do top 3, but it all depends against the juggernauts it's against, and it's against hitters.
We're gonna talk about the next one in just a second, but I got a question leading up to it.
Let's go.
Can you last 21 minutes against Gojo in Jujutsu Kaisen?
No, I absolutely no, I can't. Like, this man did all that shit in like 6 minutes. Like,
less than 5. It was it was like 4.99 seconds.
No, Gojo is OP'd, and that's why I love him. Like, no, man, ain't nobody fucking with Gojo. I'm gonna give Gojo a lot of love today because I love Gojo.
Oh yeah, he's one of my favorites in that show.
Gojo, my friend group, and
yeah, I saw that status.
Stand on that. I'm like, yeah, I'm the Gojo of this friend group. You guys can be anybody. I'm Gojo.
This is the Shibuya arc is still going. How'd you feel about the previous arc, the hidden inventory, those 5 episodes? What'd you think about those?
Spoiler. When Rico got sniped.
Oh, you're right. He was like no scope.
When that happened, I knew we were not fucking around. This was the past, and it just caught me off guard. I wanted to see how Geto flipped. I want to see what pushed Gojo to the edge. They showed this girl the best day of her life,
and they said, like, you know what, we brought you here, but you don't have to come here. Like we can handle these guys. Like, if you want to leave your life, you're more than welcome. Like, we'll take you back. You have this choice.
The Jujutsu Kaisen series should have started out with this, and then when they got done with this, they should have did Jujutsu Kaisen 0, and then they should have introduce Itadori and everybody else. I get why they did it the way they did it, but the story is so much better if you can play it back chronologically, because Gojo is the star of the series. I'm sorry. Everybody else, I'm like, okay, you're supporting characters. Gojo is the main character, although he's the supporting character.
Did you
And
know that the creator does not like Yuji either?
yeah, bro. Gojo is just like, I don't hate anyone, but Gojo is just my favorite character. Like, it's kind
He
of
has
like
personality.
well, he's charming and he's handsome and he has those blue eyes and he's a badass. It's like watching Durarara, there were so many characters you could like. You didn't have to like the main character. Watching Bleach, there were so many characters you could like. You didn't have to watch the main character. The last time you had to like the main character was Dragon Ball, but everybody liked Vegeta anyway. I like Gohan. So it's like I'm not used to having to like the main character. Everybody didn't like Natsu and Fairy Tail. Some people love Gray the most. Some people love Urza. So it's like, I get it. Like this, but they took the My Hero approach where they're like, nah, the main character, the person we're gonna put on all the t-shirts, he's gonna be the main guy. And I get it. Ichidori, he's the main guy. He's the guy.
So how'd you feel about Toji, the Megumin's father?
I'm gonna get to that later.
Yeah, okay.
But what I will say is how it ties into Zero, it just made Zero all the more special. Like when you feeling the age gaps, that really got it. You're like, oh shit, this is the time. Oh, that's how old he is. Wow, this man was in high school beating grown men's ass.
Now it's like, wow, where's Yuta?
Like this man was in high school beating grown men. Like Gojo, yeah. But
yeah, man, he good, man. him and Ghetto.
He's a bad man.
But no, I cannot wait for you to watch the rest of this arc because again, it's my favorite in the manga. So good, a lot great fights. I'm gonna leave it at that. And I love how they did it with Gojo. They did it well. And for those that haven't watched it, watch it. Trust me.
I'm excited. I'm thoroughly excited.
I also love how the villains have like a nice, calm, relaxed atmosphere when they're by themselves. Like the school setting, just play mahjong or something like that, while the heroes are like dark and gloomy.
That was pretty cool. Like they did so much well with Jujutsu Kaisen. Like it's a shame that we couldn't really include it because it was one of my favorite shows. Because I watched it dubbed up until the last 3 episodes, and I just said fuck it. But now I'm back caught up. So it's like I have to make the decision for the ongoing art. Do I want to jump back to dubs? Because I really enjoy this dub. I really love the dub. But do I want to watch the subtitle? I think I might jump back into dubs because I've gotten all the big spoilers out the way. But honestly, I got to see what happens to Gojo. So I might just jump in subtitles for the second cur and just say fuck it with the dubs. Like, I'm sorry.
I won't say anything. But
yeah, I think I'm going to go.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm going to go current.
Now, the last one, Kenshin, our latest reboot.
I didn't pick it up.
Oh, you did not? Okay.
Kenshin. You know why? I didn't pick up Kenshin because I was like, yo, this is a 100 episode series. I'm not finna fall for these 12 little episodes. They're finna sprinkle at our feet. I'll get to Kenshin when I can binge 20 plus episodes. So
you're gonna wait till the end of the year.
I'm gonna wait till the end of the year and then I'm gonna binge the whole thing because I'm waiting on it dubbed. I watched the original Kenshin on Toonami. I refuse to just jump into it subtitled. No.
I will say it's so far so good.
Yeah,
it's not fantastic, but it's not bad either. Like it's pretty good. I like it so far. Soundtrack is not the same compared to the original because the original was so good with the soundtrack. But no, again, I do enjoy it. It's again, I feel like they are trying with reboots or as best they can reboots or retellings.
Just give me Outlaw Star. God damn it, that's all I want.
Eventually, we're getting to it.
I think that'll happen eventually.
So your last continuous is Helk, right?
Helk. I mean, Helk that's my last continuous, but Helk couldn't decide what type of show they want it to be, regardless. So it's Helk was funny though. Helk was a good ass comedy. Helk was fucking cute. It was funny. It was stupid. It was charming. Helk had its charm. They just haven't decided what type of show, what type of anime they want to be yet. Whenever they decide their identity, I think we're going to have a pretty interesting show. But the fact that we have a whole second arc ahead of us, I think we're in for a treat.
All right. Is that it for our stuff that's going over?
Stuff that's going over, yes, that is it.
All right. Yeah. Before we talk about the actual stuff, let's talk about ones that is not finishing up. Unfortunately, Zom 100.
Some
It is in the indefinite hiatus because it lost its channel. So as of right now, we don't know what's gonna happen. But it looks like there's gonna be no time slot unless something else takes a break to squeeze in. I see it being a rebroadcast for winter.
Here's my Zom rant. Zom, I told you privately, Zom should have been a Netflix exclusive. I feel like Netflix should have just dropped every episode at the same time, the same way they did Cyberpunk last summer. We should have. That's what they should have did with Zom. They should have just dropped it all at once. That would have solved the whole issue. My second thing is the first episode has the highest production quality of any episode. After that, everything just kind of went back basic. The first episode was just out of your mind, camera angles, colors. From there, it's a fun show. It's just 1 week it comes on Sunday, 1 week it comes on Monday, next week it comes on Sunday, next week it comes on Monday, and it's like, by the time we got to the fan service episode, I'm like, okay, I really like the German girl. I really like I like the RV. I like where they're going with this, but it feels like something's missing. But honestly, Zom feels like one of those shows that needs to be 2 curves back to back anyway. This just doesn't feel like a 12 episode show. I'm like, okay, we're at episode 9, and out of 12, and y'all go on hiatus with 3 left on the table. Who does that? Like, it feels like it'll make sense if they had 24, if they had a whole nother core left and they had to figure things out. But to end things at 12, but you make a pause at 9 episodes, I'm just like, why?
I know.
I
know. Honestly, I was looking forward to this one the most, and I've been enjoying these episodes. Like, if it did finish, like if we got all 12, yeah, this could have been high for me. But we did.
I watched it with Ethan at his house. I pulled up on Ethan this summer, the beginning of the summer, and I pulled up on Ethan. We watched Zone 100.
Yeah, and it's a new studio. It's their first show. There's potential there, but I do hope they do tweak stuff out to make it so these doesn't happen again in the future. So okay, still fantastic first premiere for a brand new studio. So I was like, okay, now we know who they are though, but the technical difficulties made it a little difficult. So they rebroadcast it. It might be a little better. Just get it refreshed a bit. But I hope they do improve in the future because it has potential. The studio does have potential. I'm curious to see what they are going to do going forward. It's a shame, but I would say technical difficulties aside, I did enjoy the show. I just wish it was cohesive. That makes sense?
I agree with that.
But yeah, again, we love Yes, but hopefully rebroadcast or just let them all at once. I don't know what they're going to do. They can do the Nier approach. But yeah, you said you finished Nier, right?
Yeah.
How'd you feel about it?
They took a completely different, like, it veered way further than where I am on the game. Different ending. And it kind of killed me because I was like, bro, there are way more different endings y'all could have taken. Why did you take this ending? Everything just felt so anticlimactic. It just, when they got to Adam and Eve, I was like, no. The whole 9S, it just felt rushed. The last 3 episodes just felt rushed. It was like, bro, I'm playing this game. There are a bunch of endings. Why is this the ending you chose? Like, they opened up this whole thing into the system, right? And they didn't explore it. And then they gave us this cliffhanger with 9S hacking and these 2 twins. And I'm like, why did you?
Well, we do have a part 2 coming.
I mean, part 2 will definitely pick it up. But as far as part 1, it's just the way they
they did it. The way it was paced or something.
The way it went out. It is zenith. It honestly hit its zenith before it went into hiatus, and after it came back, it just declined. I was thoroughly disappointed by it. Honestly, I did not expect it to do what it did. I'm playing the game as we speak, and it's like all the stuff from the game that I was enjoying about the first few episodes, y'all didn't even do anymore. Y'all had, I mean, it's a few game poses, but yeah, man, it
Right.
didn't hit the same.
Right. Alrighty. I believe that covers continuous cores, not finished, last four finales, and now that we will do the finales. I guess I will go first with my solos. Okay. But you didn't pick up Devils of Part Time at Part 2, right?
Not yet, man. I honestly forgot that it was like airing. I completely forgot it was airing until you mentioned it halfway through the season. I was like,
Yeah.
forgot.
I will say it is, again, it is better than Part 1. Less of the kid, because she's done like every episode. We get more backstory on Emmy's side a bit. I won't, if you do go back, I won't spoil it. I was not a fan about the last fight. It felt very one-sided, and the thing with Gabriel, it just, again, it felt a little anticlimactic for me to give it a little bit of a higher grade. So, but it's still good. I did say if I gave it a 3.5, I will keep it, but it's a very weak 3.5. I do hope there's no more, but I'm sure there will. So I will pick it up. If it's bad after that, I'm gonna say fuck you. but yeah, I get 3.5. Very weak though. Big improvement from Part 1, but still, it still plays it safe a little bit. So that is it for that one. And Masterful Cat is depressed again today. I love this a lot. I love the dynamic with Saku and Yukichi. Yukichi's expressions, the comedic timing of it. I know you didn't watch it fully, but it's one of those, like, it definitely does pick up as you go along. Like, you just see the relationship and how much Yukichi actually cares about Saku, even though to him she's like useless, like doesn't do anything, cannot take care of herself. And every time she wants to, like, either strangle her or run away, she has the sweet moments where it's like, all right, you can live, or I'll keep taking care of you. And I do like the flashbacks from what you call it, when Yukichi was a kitten. Yes, and there were points
I watched the first 3.
Okay. And yeah, and he's like he wants to run away, but it's like, because again, her when he was adopted, the place was like a shit show, like garbage everywhere, bags everywhere, drinking these little energy drink pouches, and yeah, so he like slowly, as this kitten, just like taking out the trash or actually trying to make food, and we don't see how he grows that size yet. So I kind of wish they did, but I guess you get the gist of it. That's the fact, his anime logic, his want to taking care of her made him grow. Well, we'll go with that or something like that. But again, I love the chemistries. I love the comedy of it. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Awesome.
Tiny Senpai. I will admit the first half was bad. Like, it was cute, but I didn't care about the midget and Takemichi. The only characters I cared about was the manager, Chihiro, and the childhood friend, Hayakawa. So I liked them. It did pick up the second half after their week break. Is like, these are actually good. These are actually kind of funny. They're a little cliche, but you know what? They made them kind of funny. And the fact that Takemichi got rejected before his confession was just hilarious. Just before he's like, "Oh, I just want to be senpai and kohai," and I was like, rejected. And I love that played into the finale when they were playing this visual novel for the company they're working for. The same scenario happened, and for Takemichi's like, "Yep, I got rejected. I was thinking about it all the time. Like, I didn't get rejected. It turns out I did." And with the senpai's like, "I actually rejected him. Fuck, I didn't mean it like that." So, but the person that made the game is like, oh yeah, that happened for now, but it's not the end. Gives a chance to grow, and they become friends like outside of work. And they said, and they said good friends a lot in their inner thoughts, like back to back. So that kind of got annoying a bit. Like we're good friends, and she says we're good friends, but nothing changed. They're the same. Just just established as friends. Like they hang out, they do lunch, they do dinner, they have vacations. So nothing changed in that regard. I don't know if he'll get season 2. Again, it's cute enough. I gave it 3.5 out of 5. And Duke of Death. Duke of Death, season 2, season 3 got confirmed, and that is the final arc. I love Bochan and Alice. They're probably one of my favorite couples. I love the dynamic of it. As even says about, I guess, Tim Burton-esque, and you know what? It can be. I can see something. This is something he would. This is something he would do live action. If he produced it, definitely with the creepy toes, like the touch and the death, like he could do wonders with it. And this these last few episodes was focusing on Sade, which is Dalif's older sister who's dead, and she was the one that cursed Bochan and a couple of other people. And they want to go to the past to basically, well, the teacher wants to kill Dalif again, let me say it again, but quicker before people got cursed. But Bochan wants to befriend the person that cursed him with this touch of death. So, okay, he wants to try, but when they did go back to the past, Sade was her psycho self, and she knew that they were from the future, so she wanted to kill them right then and there. But eventually, Zane and all this, they retreated back, because Zane does have time magic, and he wanted to go because to see if she had big tits. He's a pervert. He is a pervert. But he's like, oh shit, you got those. But like, well, no, I ain't getting killed by you, so we're gonna take off. Again, the school arc was short. I like the progress of Bochan and Alice, especially Cuff and Zane, who are the other side characters. Viola, Walter, Dalif. I'm very much looking forward to the finale. I gave us a 4.
All right.
And did you finish Gene of AI?
No, I did not, unfortunately.
I won't spoil it, but it's interesting. The last 3 episodes were probably the best part of it because it actually focused on plot progression. I do appreciate what they were trying to do with how far technology AI has come to fit into human society, and just how these humanoids act in this like they're like blending in with the humans as how they are, how discrimination or just like living like regular people, even just some regular robots. Sato, he's slowly, sorry, not Sato, Hikaru, Dr. Hikaru. Yeah, he grew on me a bit. He's usually emotionless. My friend believes he's a robot, but I was like, yeah, maybe no, because he doesn't have the humanoid eyes, like the frog eyes or goat eyes. But I don't know. There's something about him. We don't know more details about what the mother did to have them create a backup. I know a weak immune system, but I feel like there's more in there. And what you call it? There is a little bit of a cliffhanger for. I think it's been more story based with Hikaru. I'm just not sure if it got picked up for season 2 or if it will. So it's interesting for what we got, but I feel like I would have had more story. But I guess they kind of explained why in the penultimate, because one of those apparently he back then like he did try to find the backup. He looked all over like that happened already. So he's just living his life as a doctor. If something happens, something comes up, sure, I'll go find her. But I tried, and a lot of people keep telling him like to like live his life, like not live in the past. Even his own mother when he visited her in jail, like don't worry about me type of thing. Like live as you.
Yeah, I did get that far in it.
But it's just something for him that he just can't. If it's, I don't know, if it's something for, I don't know if it's something for himself or something for his research in his field. But we'll see. I get a lot of interesting stuff. I just wish I had more plot. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. And last one for me is Link Click Season 2. I enjoy this a lot. But the final episode.
One day.
Wait, what?
I said you guys got on me like, I gotta watch this one day.
So should I not say the ending then? Because I've been updating people story wise.
No, go ahead. Do your thing.
Okay. Well, I gotta get their names because I need to pronounce them correctly. Picked up where we left off with Lee Tianji. She got shot in the chest. We didn't know by who or like who did it, but it turns out it was Kyonjin who got back after retreating. He killed his right hand man because he was chasing him. So he shot her, and then he shot Chen Jiaoshi. So Lu Guan, for once in his life, he actually got emotions. Like his friend got shot, so he went to go fight him, and then Jin is kicking the crap out of him. And Cheng's not dead; he just got shot like in the side. So they're both injured, fighting him, and I love the hand-to-hand combat with this because China does a great job of it. And I was happy to see Li Jiao, the detective, actually get some payback because he got hit in the head twice with blunt objects and tased throughout this case. So I'm glad to see him actually fight his former colleague and actually get the one-ups on him. And what was going on, Kiao Lin was trying to cover Tianji, who got shot. And Tianxi's brother, Tian Chen, he just ran away. Like he didn't know what to do. And like he can't save his sister. She's dead. Just kicking the crap out of her. And Chen's not dead. He just got shot like in the side. But what'd you call it? A little interesting theory. When someone who has powers dies, they actually transfers to someone else.
Oh.
And hers came into Kiao Ling. I don't know what's the regulation, what's the rules for it. I guess someone she trusts, or is it like a physical like touch as they're dying? So Kiao Lin was able to experience everything she did, the stuff she was doing to people, and we actually got an answer of what happened to Detective Chen Bing, who committed suicide in the first episode, or so you thought. And turns out when she got disconnected from her brother, it lost the control of the detective because the brother controls people by touching them. But if she has a photo of them while in touching, he could control them at a distance. But since she let go of him, the detective is like he's like not under a spell or anything. So he wasn't gonna jump like as he was about to, but Xiao Ma, the right hand man, he just pushed him off the roof to make it look like he committed suicide. So I'm like, holy shit. But when Kiao Ling was seeing everything, she saw Chen Jiaoshi dead in a vision. But it's like, wait, but he's not dead. He's right here. So she's like, what's going on? And I'll get to that in the ending because, what you call it? Kyonjin, he got arrested. He got knocked out finally. Chang and Lu Guan, they're in the hospital getting their wounds treated. Didn't die from the gunshot. And we skip a couple of days. We see Liang Tianchen, who is the brother of the girl that died. And actually, I'm sorry, I skipped a bit before that. We get a flashback of what actually happened when the parents killed each other, like how it actually happened.
Okay.
Tian Chen had the mother possessed, and his anger made the mother kill him, like hitting the father with the hammer, while the father stabbed the mother in the chest. So it was like a double homicide of it, like towards each other. So that was how they died. We find out how that happened. And before this also it's a sensitive language thing. They mention mental retardation, like they actually say that with Lie Tian Chen, the daughter, because she couldn't speak. So the mother was considering divorce because she couldn't take care of the daughter. The husband the husband abuses her because he thinks she keeps having an affair when she hasn't. She hasn't been. So that was how those events have happened. And then we got the glimpse of what happened when they actually killed each other, like who killed Hill, like who killed who. Sorry, blah blah blah. So yeah, Tian Chen realized that he did that. Like I guess they didn't know about the powers until then, and that was when Hyun Jin saw that and is like, I can make use of these kids, and that's what happened then. Now Jin's arrested, Tianji's dead, and now Tian Chen is all alone. But a guy named Liu Xiao, who is the brother of the antagonist from season 1, and he apparently knows stuff about what is going on. And you find out he was the friend that talked to Tian Chen when they were kids, because we thought it was Cheng in the flashback. But you saw the hair, same hairstyle, but you never saw his face. So now we see Liu Xiao, like now his connection to the Li twins. And he's talking about parallels. Like there's like like a parallel universe and stuff like that. So I'm like, I know about these, and he is here to correct them. And I'm like, what parallels? What parallels are you talking about? This is where we get to the end. This is why I went, what the fuck? Chang and Lu Guan, they're back home. They're recovered. Kiao Ling throws a little party for them. And Kiao Ling keeps thinking about, why did I see Chang dead in the visions? And it turns out Lu Guan, the man who made the rules of let people die, he went back in time. He had Chang's powers when Chang died in a timeline. So he used that to get the picture of Chang. He said he was going to go back to the beginning. He did his clap. He teleported in that photo of that time. And he's in a timeline where Chang is alive. So I was like, what the fuck? He broke his own rule. And now we're going to find out what happened. Now, the question is, did it happen? Like, did he save him already in a previous timeline when he got stabbed in season 1? Did he take the stabbing for him? Or has it not happened yet, and he's here to prevent that from happening?
Paradox.
Exactly. The thing he told Chang not to do, he did it. Yep. So I'm like, what have you done?
That's usually what happens when people start fucking with time.
So a lot of questions that in season 2, they were settled, but now we got some to lead into season 3. Like, okay, you got something set up. I'm ready. I am ready for season 3. Patience issues aside from the middle, I enjoyed this a lot. I gave this a 4 3/4 out of 5.
Hey.
Awesome. Anything about yours before we do togethers?
No.
You're gonna say those for the awards?
Absolutely.
Alrighty. So let's get to our togethers then, shall we?
Let's go.
All right, let's go. Let us start with. You didn't watch that. Let's do Horimiya Pieces. How'd you feel about Horimiya Pieces?
I dropped it after 3 episodes.
Really?
Bro, I dropped a lot of shows this summer.
Yeah, you had enough. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna.
I had a conversation with you and Ethan when I was like, "Yo, I've seen how this shit ends. Is this just gonna be side quests?" And it was like, "Yeah, it's just the side stories." I'm like, "Okay, it's the missing pieces from the main story."
Exactly.
Got it. I'm good. I just took a break. I just said, "Bro, I'm good." I had no plans on finishing it at that point. I was just like.
I gave it all right. Then simple enough. I gave it 3 3/4. Like side stories aside, I still enjoyed what they did. Some episodes were really good, especially at the end. But man, I just kept thinking, man, wouldn't it be great if it was in order? like a 2-season or a split core type of thing.
Yeah.
It was like, damn, it was a shame. But again, that aside, it was still good, but it does not hold up to like the first season that we had. So
not at all.
So that is of course a shame. Wow, we don't have a lot. Also, Misfit Demon King Academy. I don't know if you watched that. I gave it 3.5. That annoyed me.
I had someone else recently recommend that show to me, so I think I might start season 1 soon.
Yeah. Again, I would say Anos is one of those OP guys, but it's an annoying OP. Like, he doesn't need anyone else to help him. Like, he has no struggles or anything. He knows everything and he can just do it all like that, basically. He's Discord without fucking around. So I'm like,
I like OP though.
What?
I said I like OP, so you know.
I do too though, but I just want a little like fight. And yeah. So there's I outsmarted, you're outsmarted, and you thought you outsmarted mine, but I outsmarted yours. He was like Joseph Joestar when he was younger. But yeah, 3.5. Okay, let's do Rent a Girlfriend.
Rent a Girlfriend. I enjoyed this season. I'm gonna get more into it when I do my countdown and my awards. But this season was a lot less of what I typically enjoy about the show, which is Kazuya and all the girls. This season was it was Chizuru, and they decided to take a gamble on, instead of doing all this comedy and slapstick and outrageousness, they decided to like really go serious and focus on Chizuru and really focus on her feelings more so than Kazuma's feelings. So the fact that
it was needed.
Yeah, the fact that they did that, I felt like it was a nice change of pace. It wasn't what I typically wanted, but it wasn't a bad call. It just really surprised me.
Right.
But it was a pleasant surprise for them to try to go serious with the show. They stepped it up with the artwork tremendously. They made the emotion show through the screen with every character, with every scene, and I really appreciated that. But like I said, as more I want to get into, I'll get into it later though. But Rent a Girlfriend, definitely. I enjoyed last season more because it was funnier. But that's not to say that this season was not as good, or if not better than last season. It's just that it just wasn't as funny and lighthearted. It was way more serious. And I don't expect Rent a Girlfriend to give me a serious note, but the serious note that they gave me, they did a pretty damn good job doing it.
Right. I probably did like this one a little bit better because it was more of the progression of like Kazuya not be like full on simp, but Chizuru, like he's actually trying, like he's actually helping out with her goal. We got more Chizuru's emotions, her feelings, her grandma, like wow. We got a new character, Yamori. I loved Yamori. Sumi helped a lot. No Mami, that's always good. Ruka, she became a little too much, but she was okay. But yeah, I think the other 3 girls shined more compared to her in this season. But it was definitely more about Chizuru. She actually had a time to shine. We got more of her stuff, how she's feeling with grief, and I said it in a couple episodes ago. It hit me with the grandma. I felt that, especially with recent events. But again, good stuff from everybody. Kazuya, love him or hate him, he did try his best in this season for sure. But I gave us a 4, and there's no season 4 announced yet. But let's be real, they're gonna commit all the way through to start to finish.
I believe it.
All right, I believe we have 3 more then. Let's get to Bleach 1,000-Year Blood Wars. Can you take on Squad Zero?
What I didn't like was this cliffhanger ending before like
That's why I said that you can't do that. You can't
if
fucking do that.
just made his appearance, but I get it. I get it. They gave us so much with the invasion. The invasion was just, there were so many casualties, there were so many twists, there's so much shit. I am not ready to get into it yet. I'm not ready to get into Bleach just yet, but I enjoyed Thousand Year Blood War thoroughly. I binged it. I binged the whole thing in a day. Like
Right.
I binged episodes 1 through 10 in a day, and I watched 11 and 12 today.
And then you watch the rest. Yes.
Yes, I watched it. I could not turn it off. I binged it in the whole day and had a fucking ball because at least 9 of those episodes were like dubbed. So I was back in my element. And then, I switched to subs and just kept going. I had a ball. I had a fucking ball.
I will say, I said it before, I am not the biggest fan of Bleach, but this arc is still going strong. Like both part 1 and part 2. I liked part 1 a little bit better, but the fights in part 2 were fantastic. That's the action. That's what part 2 was mostly about. It was about the action sequences, these power boosts. Like it's really a war. We're getting like both sides. Like the morale is shifted. Like part 1 was basically Quincy's. Part 2, Soul Reaper's making a comeback, and we definitely saw that in full swing when Yukabak had that invasion in the Soul Kingdom, and we saw what Squad Zero can partially do. It's like, my goodness. Like Yukabak just got clapped. but it was a balance back and forth. They had a big thing, there's a comeback, and now they had a comeback for that, and that was where we had that clip where it was like, ah. Just how they ended, just after that smash, it was like, you can't do that, and you can't give us a goofy after credits. But man, there's no release date for part 3, but I know it is in 2024. I'm debating between 4.25, 4.5, but definitely still high rated. And I'm sure you'll give your ratings when we do the awards later on, right? All right. We got 2 more. Let us go with Undead Murder Farce.
Murder Farce was really cool. Murder Farce, I didn't enjoy the first arc as much, but it didn't make me want to drop the show. The vampire part was like, yeah, all right, whatever. But it introduced the characters and gave me a nice feel.
It was more of an introduction of what they could do and what the show was going to be about.
The second arc was peak storytelling.
Agreed.
And the third arc was peak visual artwork. So I feel like they used each art to climax on a particular part, and they kept improving the anime along the way. So they kept filling in the pieces. Anything that they were lacking, the next art picked up and carried more of the workload. You got to feel for the characters. Like I said, I really want to deep dive into this one, but I'll save it for when I do my list. But Murder Farce is absolutely, if you did not watch any anime this summer, and you're listening to this right now, that's the one you missed out on. Like Murder Farce was absolutely the must-watch anime after summer. It was the must-watch. You had to watch it. It's from the director of Kaguya-sama Lovers War.
Yeah,
he's a fantastic director. He's really like making a name for himself. He did a rom-com, romantic comedy, did 3 seasons, did a movie, and then he comes with this murder mystery, and just switches it up with a brand new team. Each episode had a different director, so they did that same thing. Yeah, that they did that thing where every episode has like a supervisor, a different director, so it has a different feel. So he spread the love out amongst different creatives, and that really gave the show like some extra little spice. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm always a sucker for like classical characters like Victor Frankenstein, Jack the Ripper, Lupin, Phantom of the Opera, Sherlock. I'm always a sucker for those, and they play them off really well the way that makes sense in that timeline that they are in. I love Aya. I love Suguru. The maid's great. Fights were awesome. The musical composition in the background with those fights, I dug them. I definitely did. You got the detectives, you got the smarts of it, you got the humor of it with the characters and the personality. We got great action, and it just left me wanting more. And I hope we do get a season 2 because you'd be crazy not to. This was definitely a big sleeper for me, so I gave this a 4.5. And our last finale, Mushoku Tensei.
Oh man, I don't know where to begin. I don't want to give too much away from my deep dive review.
Yeah.
Episode 0 makes a lot of sense when you get to episode 5. Don't make sense for the first couple episodes, but when you get to the second half of the season 2, you're like, oh. Well, the second half of season 2, part 1. That's when you're like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now the dots start connecting. They kind of tried to milk this whole ED thing. They really like milked the whole thing, but it was a sweet payoff. But like I said, drop my mouse. Yeah. I will get into that. I'll get into that when we deep dive on the show. Yep. But I will say, Jobless Reincarnation again, following up with what they did the previous season. They're on track for another timeless. This is gonna be one of those. This series is gonna be one of those when it's all said and done.
Well, it's all said and done, absolutely. I will admit I did not like the first little arc with Sarah in the beginning.
I hope that comes back. I hope Sarah comes back, to be honest.
Yeah. But as I do hope she comes back. Like I do hope they do this right, per se. From my friend who basically he'd always give me like the differences from like original source and then the anime. It just made me go, man, I wish we had that because I actually would make it better, but we didn't. So it was just like, oh, god damn it, man. Because I did enjoy. I still enjoyed it. The ED thing. That's really the synopsis of part 1. Just Karen is ED. That's why he went to the big magic school. I know people complained about them having a OP sequence, and you know what? You're right. I get why they did it, though. I don't know if you ever saw that comment why what I told them to kind of justify it. It was basically when we had the opening music, it was like telling the story of the background, the adventure that they were in. But the fact that they were in a school, you really can't do that. Like how long till it just one area, basically. Not they're not
OPs give away so many fucking spoilers. I was fine with it.
Yeah. But I'm saying, Joe, because I get wanting the music in the background, let it play out. That's fine. But again, they were in a school. You can't do that for like 10 episodes in a school. But Core 2 with what's coming up the next arc, I cannot wait to see how they do this. I loved season 1, part 2 the best still, but you know what? This is really good. We got a nice payoff with Sylphie. Fucking Luke Greyrat with his comments to Sylphie. I was laughing. Twice. He did it to her twice about her womanhood. I was like, oh man, but we had a really nice payoff with it. So I really can't complain in that regard. But I get a 4.25. And look at that. We did part 1 in an hour.
Worked out perfectly.
Look at that. But guys, before we take a quick break to do part 2, we're going to talk more about in the detail when we get to that part 2. We just had to get this out of the way real quick. But thank you guys for sticking around. We'll be back in like 10 minutes, maybe less, to set up for the next part. But please stick around. I can't wait to show you guys. Any closing thoughts before we cut out to commercials?
No, I'm ready and eager to get to this part 2, man. I've been savoring it, going over my thoughts, ruminating, letting all the juices simmer.
All right, like I said, we're gonna be doing that. We will again. We're going to close off on this. I'm gonna make a new setup for all that. We'll have our editor talk about part one in a bit. But guys, stay tuned. We'll be back shortly. Peace.